Growing Up on a Farm in Kentucky. Stories by Stan Schmidt. Episode 4. Dad's Hard Work, Part 1. Milk cans, hay, and potatoes.
I always admired my dad, but every now and then he would do something that really made me wonder how great a guy he was. Like one time, we had 25 dairy cows, which we milked twice a day, and we would put the milk right directly from the milking machines into 10-gallon metal milk cans. Then we would take those milk cans, put them on the truck, and take them up to the milk house where there was a big tank that would cool the milk. We filtered it and cooled it. We had to carry it down steps from the truck into the milk house and then pour it into the strainer, which strained it into this big milk, what we called the milk tank, which cooled it and kept it at 32 degrees till the milkman picked it up. And my dad one time was feeling his oats. I think he was feeling pretty good because he smiled and he says, "Stan, look at this, watch this." And he took his little finger, wrapped it around the handle of one of those 10-gallon milk cans, which weighed at least 100 pounds, 95 to 100 pounds. And he picked it right up off the floor with his little finger, and I was totally amazed at my dad. I knew he had strong hands from milking cows by hand when he was younger, but wow. That and seeing him pitch hay. He would take a pitchfork and get so much hay on that one pitchfork and then pick it up over his head and throw it in the barn. It was just amazing to watch. And there were a number of things like that. How fast he could pick the feathers off a chicken. He would dip it in. We would kill our own chickens and clean them. And at first you had to kill them. And then you dipped them in a bucket of hot water, very hot water. And their feathers would loosen. And he could pick a chicken clean in 2 or 3 swipes of his hand. It was amazing. He just rubbed them all off, all the feathers. And he could do it about 5 times as fast as us boys could pick a chicken. Another thing he could do fast with his hands was, of course, milk cows. But another thing would be when we were digging potatoes. We would plant potatoes and they would be in rows with dirt piled up so the potatoes didn't get any sun on them, because if they did, they would turn green and they would be tasteless. They tasted horrible. So there was a lot of dirt on them, and we would use a single horse plow and just plow the whole row out. So it was mostly dirt, and the potatoes were in loosened dirt when they were plowed, but they were still, you had to dig in there and find the potatoes with your bare hands. So my dad would get us all out, all 5 of us boys out digging potatoes. We were all ages. And he would pay you so much a bushel. And he would say, "Let's see who can fill a bushel basket the fastest." And he would start down the row, and before we could get a third of a basket of potatoes, his bushel would be full. And he was like that with working. He liked competition and working, whether it be forking manure. He told us he once filled the manure spreader 15 times in one day by himself. All these stories about my dad made me really admire him. Plus the fact that he never made any really bad decisions that I know of, and lost a lot of money in any of his business ventures, whether it was growing vegetables, raising chickens, all the many things, potatoes, sweet potatoes, you name it. strawberries. We'd have a half an acre of strawberries. And he never took on too much that he spent too much or got into too much work that he couldn't handle it. He always had enough time every day to milk the cows in the morning and milk the cows at night. And in between, he would do all these other little projects, but he kept them all balanced somehow. And everything he did, some of it could be used on our table as well as being sold. So he was producing food for us to eat while he was also making money.